think we found our Bud Light of 2024, and then also it's really starting to feel like something else that also kicked off about a decade ago, but now the world is in a much different place. Society's temperament and tolerance of these types of ideals, of these type of people. What do I mean by these type of people? We're gonna dig into it with Kim Belair, the Sweet Baby Inc. co-founder. Yes, indeed, because this Sweet Baby stuff, it's really starting to pop off. And I talked about this way back at the end of, what was that, October? I think it was in October of 2023 when they started to get a little bit more traction. And it's like, okay, everybody was fans of the cult hit Alan Wake. If you played it, you liked it, apparently. Okay, like it was one of those sleeper hits from the 360 era, and then all of a sudden, when the sequel came out, hey, wait a minute, this is absolutely trash. It's boring. Characters have been race swapped for no discernible reason. The gameplay is just bad. Who's responsible for this? Who's writing? Who's consulting? Who's doing all of the stuff on the back end? And that all roads lead back to Sweet Baby Inc. And then, of course, with this Spider-Man 2, another big game at the end of last year, and at least that game got a little bit more praise. Some of the gameplay is fun. There's not much of an update from the original Insomniac Spider-Man game, but when it comes to the narrative and some of the side quests, it's like, now it's starting to get a little bit more ropey. Like, who's responsible for this? Another name pops up, Sweet Baby Inc. And then, of course, what was the big catastrophe at the beginning of this year? Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. And what name popped up once again? You know it, Sweet Baby Inc. Now, all thanks to a little Steam list from Cabrutus, a Brazilian man, by the way, which, hey, it's not going to play into a lot of the narrative surrounding this stuff, because the game journals, yeah, they're starting to come out and they're starting to roll out their old tired tricks. But like I said at the beginning, we've been through this, man. Okay, this isn't 2014 anymore. While their tactics haven't changed, the audiences definitely have updated. So Kim is the co-founder and president of Sweet Baby Inc., a narrative development company that she established in Montreal. Why is it always the Canadians? To help companies tighten up their stories. Okay, so that's what Kim, the co-founder, the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., professes her company is all about. Prior to that, she worked with Ubisoft. Of course she did. Where she started out in community development before finding her calling in writing scenarios. And it is there she got to work on numerous projects such as Assassin's Creed Syndicate. The first one with a female assassin, right? Interesting. And Far Cry 4. I played through Far Cry 4. I don't remember a lot of Far Cry 4. Right now, Kim has got a lot on her plate. In addition to helping AAA and indie studios, she's serving as the narrative consultant on Goodbye Volcano High. Haven't heard about that. But she loves keeping busy and is a strong champion for inclusive narratives. Okay, cool. But this little podcast that you can listen to at your own pleasure, and depending on what a lot of people who are going to be mining this content end up finding out, we might come back to it. But this was, August of last year, before everybody was really hip to what Sweet Baby Inc. has been doing for the previous few years. Well, we can just go ahead and take a look at what she was saying back in 2021, September of 2021. The video game company wants to make the industry safer for marginalized people. They say workplace, I say woke place. Makes a lot more sense. Kim Belair co-founded Sweet Baby Inc. to feel safer in video game industry and continue working in it 3 years ago. She and her co-founders were working at Ubisoft. Okay, there we go. A little bit more insight on that one. I was just starting to see that there weren't a lot of ways forward, especially for women, especially for marginalized identities, Belair said. And Sweet Baby started simply as a way for myself and two of my colleagues to work in the industry together. For years, the video game industry has been grappling with issues of toxic behavior, sexism, and institutional racism. Have they really? Because I seem to remember a few years back, those evil years that it just wouldn't allow the women into the clubhouses. The industry was thriving. The industry was better than ever. You used to have studios that would go ahead and focus on putting out a good game instead of an inclusive, all diverse gaming experience. But okay. echoing conversations in other industries. As the latest high-profile example, the Security Exchange Commission launched an investigation into Activision Blizzard, ASA company behind the Call of Duty franchise. And if you weren't abreast of that situation, well, it kind of involves a lot of abreasts over there at Sweet Baby, which designs narratives for the variety of games, including the recently released Sable. What the hell is that? Belair hopes to address some of the larger problems in the game industry and promote the idea that it can provide a safe working environment. I think that part of our job is just kind of showing, gee, these structures need to change. Wow, cool. So you don't actually care about gaming. You just want to destroy it and build it up in your own image, which is why it's interesting that this clip is making the rounds right now from GDC 2019. So this is at the time when she was working at Ubisoft. Co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair, proudly explains the method she uses to force bosses at game studios to censor, alter, and diversify game projects she feels are problematic, and you wonder why the video game industry is in the state that it's in.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Okay. You wonder why the industry is in the state that it's in right now. It's because of activists like that. If your developers, if the people that are in charge of making the video game aren't willing to kneel down to your insertion of ideology, go talk to the people with the megaphone. Go talk to the people with the money. Go talk to the people that have the connections and blackmail them into doing what you want them to do. Not for the sake of a better game, but for the sake of your own personal pet project being inserted into this multi-million dollar project. And like you can see right there, 1 million views. Several other reposts have this out there, and Sweet Baby Inc. is going viral right now. And it doesn't look like it's stopping, because I think tomorrow we're going to have the first, okay, just like the old Gama Sutra article from back in 2014, the gamers are dead stuff. Yeah, it's like I said, it's really feeling like 2014 all over again. And while she might regret this, being in public, okay, being out like that, even though I don't really think that these idiots, and this is normally why these types of ideas ultimately fail, it's because these low intellect individuals, okay, these useful idiots that just come along to push the certain narrative in order to break down all of these structures in order to build them back up in the party's message. This is why I don't think that it's really a big conspiracy. It's not, oh my god, they do this because BlackRock is calling is making all the messages, okay? They're the ones calling all the shots, all these shadowy figures. The deep state is at it again. No. There's too many idiots that'll just go out there and publicly profess exactly what they're doing. Kim Belair is just another in a long line of them. And frankly, it's good. It's good that even over in Japan, who is not dealing with any of this crap, okay? Like, as you can see with Stellar Blade, I understand that that's Korea, it's not Japan. They have just seen just the desecration of the Western gaming industry and went, nah, we good. And the fact that they are pointing out all of this nonsense, you love to see how international this has gotten, but these aren't new tactics, man. Like I said, back in 2014, you had the likes of Anita Sarkeesian, the person who, if we just run it back to one singular individual who killed the gaming industry, and this is why, it's like, even before all this stuff started to pop off, I've just been looking from the outside in, okay? I was a big gamer back in the cut, okay? Mass Effect Andromeda, I've talked about this ad nauseum, that 2017 pile of garbage that, guess what? BioWare invited Anita Sarkeesian to come in and consult on. Killed my love for the industry. It was already on shaky ground, but that one right there wasn't so much the straw that broke the camel's back, it was the knife in my own back. I was just, this thing that I had dedicated hundreds, thousands of hours to, thousands of dollars to. It just isn't appealing to me anymore. just had fundamentally changed. It moved away from having fun, compelling narratives, trying to push an ideological agenda. I was seeing studios that would release reliable games come out with absolute stinkers. I was a big fan. One of the driving reasons that I ever got a PS3 to begin with was to play the Uncharted series. And frankly, Uncharted 1's pretty good. Outside of the wonky controls on the PS3 that's since been updated in some of the re-releases. Uncharted 2, uncontested masterpiece. Uncharted 3, things get a little shaky. And then with Uncharted 4, the changes that were made. And guess what? The first 3 Uncharted games, heavily written by Amy Hennig. So don't just think that this is me shitting on women in the gaming industry. No. When it's a merit-based industry, the cream, it rises to the top. Yeah. When you're simply checking diversity boxes, trying to put in your own pet ideologies, that's when things start to crumble. And one of the big names back in the cut, when I was starting to check out, who were also rising to prominence, studio that I talked about not that long ago, who are outsourcing one of the remakes of their seminal works, CD Projekt Red. Oh, they were known for absolute quality with The Witcher 2, and especially with the runaway success that The Witcher 3 was, and then all the promise of Cyberpunk 2077. Less said about that, the better, but after Anita Sarkeesian's feminist frequency grift, that was pushed by all of these activists in gaming, and then all of their simp sycophants that were more than willing to prop up their queen, effectively subverted the industry. CD Projekt Red, BioWare, take your pick, Naughty Dog, Insomniac, they all started to go down Blackmail Boulevard under threat of fake Me Too allegations, okay? Oh, forever and ever, oh, the games industry has had this nefarious battle with sexism, right? And that's another topic that I talk about at length on this channel, is just these fake allegations that get thrown at people, ruin their lives, and then when you have a quantifiable grifter like Sarkeesian come out and say, hey, CD Projekt Red, I'm always available for consulting because it sure sounds like you might need it before the whole of the internet drags you for what sounds like some potentially sexist representation, which we all know you've struggled with in the past. That's blackmail. That is a not so veiled threat that if you don't hire me, if you don't line my pockets, I'm just going to make up some allegations. I'm going to make up some allegations because I have some clout. I have an army of simps that are more than willing, ready, and able to ruin your company. This is extortion. This is stuff that we see all the time. Chicks that were one night use material come back years later, retract consent, the expressed purpose of cashing out on somebody's name one more time. And what happened to CD Projekt Red? Well, there's one image right there. There's one image of somebody unironically parroting all this ESG nonsense. You can see I've got the extension enabled. 336 upvotes, 8,600 downvotes. Just a guy staring into the abyss, knowing that his company is absolutely dead, trying to shill these globalist talking points. And in reality, he should be spending his time on making video games, okay? He makes this 6.5 minute long video capitulating to people that are never going to buy your product, but you hope that, you could get some of that, the ESG money that's out there that they're just throwing around. Is he talking to them? No. He's talking to those extortionists that are out there. He's out there talking to the Anita Sarkeesians of the world, talking to the Kim Belairs of the world. Okay, we'll just bow. Don't ruin my company. Okay, because there's no recourse. There's no way that you can push back against women because the games industry, okay, for as much as I loved it, okay, you could see the writing on the wall. You could see the direction that they were taking because these are guys who are especially good at one thing, making games, plugging away on computers. They're really good at that. When it comes to dealing with women and having the proper temperament to tell them no and mean it, these aren't exactly the pillars of masculinity that is required to adequately keep the wolves at bay. And this is why it became fertile ground to absolutely destroy. That's why I'm so happy to see people now, because we had to weather through all of this stuff in 2014, something that has permeated everything moving forward. Now here we are 10 years later. Now we've seen the wake of destruction that they have left. And now we know we're spotting the signs of this thing peeking and popping up one more time. I wasn't vocal. I was an outside observer. I don't have regrets on my channel. There's not a single video that I put out that I regret, regardless of strikes, regardless of demonetization, regardless of subs lost. I don't care because it's my authentic voice. The only thing that I do regret is not starting earlier, not having a voice before. So if I wasn't there at the inception, I can damn sure guarantee to all of you, I will be here at the conclusions, shouting as loud as I can to whoever's going to listen. Sweet Baby Inc. is going down. Anita Sarkeesian, she's already been down, but it's time, instead of letting these grifters shapeshift into a different company, because it's just Sweet Baby Inc. today. It was Silverstream beforehand. It was different people under different names and different aliases back in the cut, but now, thanks to technology, thanks to their own hubris, putting their ideas out there like that, it's easier to find them, root them out of the industry, and make something great out of gaming one more time. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.